Wealthy people don't think about money better than you. They barely think about it at all, and that's the entire difference. Everything you call being responsible with money is the exact mechanism keeping you stuck. Behavioral scientists have spent 40 years documenting why people with similar incomes end up on radically different financial paths. The answer isn't discipline. It isn't education. It's 5 mental reflexes, and one group has them switched on, the other has them switched off. Stay until reflex number 5. It's the one that looks like maturity, sounds like integrity, and is the exact reason most people will die running the same software their grandparents ran. Let's start with the reflex that silently decides your entire financial trajectory before you even touch money. Reflex number 1 is how your brain experiences time. In 1997, Harvard economist David Laibson formalized a phenomenon called hyperbolic discounting. His research revealed something disturbing. The average brain massively overvalues rewards available now and dramatically underestimates rewards in the future, even when the future reward is 2 or 3 times larger. Offer most people $100 today or $200 in 6 months. The majority choose the $100. The math is irrelevant. The brain cannot feel the future. Nobel laureate Richard Thaler called this the most predictable wealth-destroying trait in human psychology. Here's how it splits 2 populations. The first brain feels Friday's paycheck as real. Retirement at 60 feels like science fiction. So it spends, not stupidly, emotionally, honestly. Money it cannot feel does not exist. The second brain does something strange. It treats future money as more real than present money because it has learned that the present version of itself cannot be trusted with decisions. So it removes the choice entirely. Automatic transfers, locked accounts, rules that fire before the brain gets to vote. That's not willpower, that's architecture. But here's where it gets darker, because this next reflex doesn't feel like a reflex. It feels like common sense. Reflex number 2 is how your brain handles loss. In 1979, psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky published Prospect Theory, the work that would win Kahneman the Nobel Prize. Their central finding: the pain of losing $100 is roughly twice as intense as the pleasure of gaining $100. Double. That asymmetry is biological. It's running in you right now. Watch how it separates 2 lives. The first brain experiences potential loss as catastrophe, so it avoids it everywhere. It stays in the underpaid job. It doesn't counter the salary offer. It holds the failing investment because selling would make the loss real. It doesn't start the business, doesn't ask for the raise, doesn't leave the bad deal. Not out of weakness, out of pain minimization, dressed up as prudence. The second brain has done something psychologically unusual. It has separated financial loss from personal loss. A bad investment is information. A failed negotiation is a data point. A missed opportunity is a lesson. That separation is not natural. It doesn't happen by accident. It has to be installed, usually through pain, occasionally through mentorship. Most people will spend their entire adult lives avoiding a feeling and call it being careful. Now, here's the reflex that gets used against you every single day, usually before you've even realized the transaction has started. Reflex number 3 is anchoring. How the first number you see rewires what you're willing to pay, accept, or demand. Kahneman and Tversky ran an experiment in the early 1970s that is still taught in behavioral science today. They spun a rigged wheel that landed on either 10 or 65, then asked participants unrelated questions about African countries. People who saw 10 guessed lower. People who saw 65 guessed higher. A random, irrelevant number had rewired their entire judgment. Dan Ariely, behavioral economist at Duke, replicated this with prices. Participants who wrote down higher digits of their social security number bid up to 3 times more for the same bottle of wine. Here's the split. The first brain accepts the opening number as reality. The salary offer, the sticker price, the rent, the first counter in a negotiation. Whatever lands first becomes the frame, and they negotiate inside that frame. A few hundred off, a small concession. They never question the frame itself. They're proud of getting 10% off a price that was inflated by 40%. The second brain does something that looks almost rude. It rejects the first number on principle, not because it's wrong, but because it was set by the other side. It doesn't negotiate down, it reframes. Why that number? Before answering it. Every salary gap, every overpriced contract, every underpriced skill in the developed world starts at the same moment someone accepting the anchor handed to them. And this next reflex is the one that hides inside what feels like intelligent money management. Reflex number 4 is mental accounting, how your brain sorts money into invisible buckets based on where it came from, even though every dollar is identical. Richard Thaler coined this term in 1985. He proved that humans compartmentalize money into mental categories with radically different rules. Salary money feels serious and protected. Bonus money feels like permission. Tax refunds feel like a gift from the universe, even though it's literally your own money returned after an interest-free loan to the government. Here's where the reflex reshapes 2 lives. The first brain treats unexpected money differently. A bonus becomes a TV, a refund becomes a weekend trip. A gift becomes a splurge, not because the person is reckless, because the money doesn't feel like money. It feels like extra. Permission, a windfall that shouldn't count. The second brain has collapsed the categories. Every dollar is the same dollar. A bonus is indistinguishable from a paycheck. A refund is indistinguishable from income. A gift is capital. Nothing is extra. Nothing is permission. Casinos were built on this bias. The moment cash becomes chips, the brain stops calling it money. This is also why people with decent incomes stay stuck, not from earning too little, but from categorizing their way out of their own wealth. And now the one that looks like wisdom, sounds like maturity, and is the exact reason most people never escape the loop. Reflex number 5 is the sunk cost fallacy. In 1985, psychologists Hal Arks and Catherine Bloomer at Ohio University published a landmark study. They proved that humans make consistently worse decisions when they've already invested money, time, or effort, because walking away feels like admitting failure. So instead, they pour more in. The cruel mechanic. The sunk cost is already gone. Whatever you paid for the dying investment, the unfinished degree, the failing business, the dead relationship, that money, that time is gone, whether you continue or stop. The only rational question is, what's the best decision from this moment forward? The first brain can't perform that math. It sees the years invested in the wrong career and thinks, I can't quit now. It sees the losses on a failing position and thinks, I'll wait until it recovers. It stays, It doubles down. It calls this loyalty. It calls it perseverance. Society applauds. The second brain has installed a strange rule. It evaluates every decision from zero, ignoring what's already been spent. If the current path wouldn't be worth starting today with fresh eyes, it isn't worth continuing tomorrow. The past is paid. The only question is what comes next. Here's what all 5 reflexes have in common, and this is the part that changes everything once you see it. They don't feel like reflexes, they feel like values. Being responsible, not being reckless. Finishing what you start, being grateful for what you have, not being greedy. These feel like character. They feel like what a good person does. And that is exactly why they are nearly impossible to detect, because questioning them feels like questioning yourself. The uncomfortable truth behavioral scientists have been circling for decades is this: financial class is not just inherited through money, it's inherited through mental architecture. The reflexes your parents ran on, you run on. The reflexes their parents ran on, they ran on. And nobody told anyone that the architecture was optional. Wealth isn't about having more discipline, it's about having the specific reflexes installed that allow a person to think about money less, not more. The effort you put into being responsible is exactly the energy the other brain has freed up to build with. If you recognized yourself in even one of these reflexes, the next video shows you the 3 that were installed in you before you turned 10 by people who had no idea they were doing it. It's in the Money Psychology playlist below.